Okay, so now that we've done anions, as we know, there's always a balance to these. So the counterpart of my cations are anions. And like before, anions have a negative charge. So do anions gain or lose electrons? Think about it. If cations are going to lose them, anions are going to gain them. Now, the way we name our anions are slightly different from our cations. Whereas our cations, we just added the word ion at the end. Our anions, we're actually going to change the prefix. So chlorine, which is Cl, is actually going to change to, to chloride. Okay. So as we go through these, we're going to see how we name different elements. So for example, if I have bromine, which is also in group 7A, and it gains an electron, it will turn into bromide. Okay. So let's do the same thing we did, but instead, like we said, these anions are going to gain electrons instead. So let's do chlorine. What's the atomic number of chlorine? Good. The atomic number is 17. So if I drew these, okay, so 17 electrons gives me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Correct? Shorthand, 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2, 3p5. Correct? Now if I draw my dot structure, I draw chlorine in my, I draw chlorine, do it again. Okay, so I draw chlorine. In level 3, I have 7 total electrons. I'm also in group 7, so I draw 7 electrons. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Good. Well, now as you can see, this chlorine is a chlorine minus, which means I've gained this 1 electron. So instead of 17 electrons, I actually have 18 electrons. As I go through this now, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Right? I do my shorthand, 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2. Now I have 3p6. And if I do my dot structure, my chlorine now has 8 electrons around it. 7. So just like before, what noble gas is chlorine closest to? Good. Argon is its closest noble gas, so let's take a look at argon structure. Please forgive me, I'm going to have to scoot this over. Okay, so if we do argon, argon has 18 electrons. If I redo this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. My electron configuration is the same exact thing. But now I have argon, which has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So one thing I did forget to do was add this minus charge right here. I had chlorine with 7, had chlorine with 8, keeping that minus charge. Now I have argon that looks pretty similar to what we have. So if you take a look, elements on the right side of the periodic table tend to want to grab more electrons since they're already close to the noble gas configuration. Group 7 elements are called halogens, and typically they will hold a 1 1 minus charge. So fluorine, chlorine, bromine, iodine, acetine, they tend to become anions. And we start to call them fluoride, chloride, bromide, iodide, and acetone. So let's take a look at oxygen. Oxygen has an atomic number of 8. So I know I have 8 electrons. If I draw these, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. As you can see, oxygen now has 2 electrons. So talking your pods, why do you think oxygen is trying to grab 2 electrons to become an anion? Take a look at my electron configuration drawing, and hopefully you can see why. So let's actually draw these out. If I had 8 electrons, but I gained 2 more, I am now at 10 electrons, correct? So I draw these, I get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And as you can see, this is now filled. Remember, once your outer electron energy level is filled, you have become stable. So by gaining 2 electrons, this oxygen is more stable than when it was a neutral oxygen. So here's what I want you guys to do. Today your exit slip is on page 193, number 9 through 11. You will please turn this in with the previous problems. I also want you to, for homework, this must be done through the computer, answer my questions posted for chapter 7.1. You can find these on turnitin.com. This will be due by 8 a.m. Monday morning. So you have plenty of time since Friday you have no school. You have the weekend, and I'll be back Monday morning to check your answers. So please complete that by then. And also read chapter 7.2 to be ready for next week's lecture. Okay, ladies, have a good weekend. Be safe. See you at homecoming. And make sure you do your homework. Thank you.